heinous criminals with a legacy so gruesome that they were meant to be deleted from history, devil fruit users with abilities that almost feel like overkill, and a fallen admiral, once a beloved student of Monkey D. Garp, forged his solo path of darkness. The 10 Titanic commanders of the Blackbeard Pirates are so indomitable that they can turn the One Piece world upside down at will. In this video, we will cover all 10 of them one by one, and believe me, this is not a video you want to miss. Starting off with the helmsman and captain of the first ship, Jesus Burgess, aka the Champion. Based on his name and the Mexican-inspired face mask, this guy appears to be modeled after luchador wrestlers. Burgess also wears a championship belt, though it is unclear whether he earned it through wrestling or simply for his wrestler-like appearance. Jesus Burgess is a physical specimen, which was quite evident when he won Block A of the Corrida Coliseum Battle Royale within seconds, solely with the help of raw strength. Also, he defeated every challenger he fought in Mocktown without even breaking a sweat. Aside from possessing extraordinary strength, Burgess might also know the sinister method of hijacking devil fruit powers. Do you remember his conversation with Sabo? He dropped several hints about it there. Burgess also possesses incredible endurance and durability. As demonstrated, he was able to withstand direct hits from Whitebeard and the Buddha form of Sengoku without being severely damaged. Not only that, but in Dressrosa, Burgess took Sabo's Kai Ryu at point-blank range, blasting him with enough firepower to destroy several buildings, but he recovered quickly and resumed the fight. Jesus Burgess has eaten Riki Riki no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that enhances Burgess's already immense strength to the point where he can casually lift a mountain over his head and throw it at a far distance. He is also skilled at using Busashoku Haki and Kenbanshoku Haki. Shiryu of the Rain. Shiryu is the captain of the second ship, and he was as strong as Magellan during his service in Impel Down, even without any devil fruit powers. See, Shiryu is a bloodthirsty psychopath who seems to enjoy killing people anytime he can. He used to use his head jailer privileges to massacre many prisoners within Impel Down's walls for pure pleasure, justifying his actions by claiming that no one would care if he disposed of trash. According to Ivankov, Impel Down was impregnable under Shiryu and Magellan's joint protection, and if Shiryu had remained on duty rather than imprisoned, Luffy and Mr. 2 would not have been able to break so far into the prison. Shiryu is fond of his blade and seems to relish testing it against others, even if they are far below his level. Along with his sword-wielding capabilities, Shiryu's speed is exceptional, as we saw him cutting down several Impel Down jailers in a split second. He has also shown exceptional stealth capabilities, even before acquiring his devil fruit powers, which was quite evident when he was able to infiltrate into Impel Down's monitor room completely undetected, sneak past the extremely high security to destroy all communication devices present, and even sneak up on a security guard reporting to Magellan and kill him without being noticed. Shiryu now has the powers of the Sukesuke no Mi, a Paramecia-class devil fruit that grants him the power to turn himself invisible. He can also turn whatever he is holding invisible. He acquired the ability soon after his crew murdered its previous user, Absalom. His preferred weapon is a Meito-qualified Nodachi known as Ryu. Shiryu is a skilled user of Busashoku Haki, capable of imbuing his sword with it. These are only 2 of the 8 Titanic captains, and it only gets better from here. Van Augur, nicknamed the Supersonic, is the sniper of the Blackbeard Pirates and the captain of the third ship. Augur is extremely calm and analytical, even during battle. He very rarely changes his facial expression. However, in his confrontation with Ace on Bonnero Island, he showed a darker side, showing a devilish grin after a failed kill shot. Augur is possibly one of the greatest master marksmen in the entire series. With his favorite rifle, Senriku, Augur is able to fire bullets over tremendous distances with extraordinary accuracy, which was shown when Chopper suggested to Usopp that the seagulls flying around their ship were sniped from an extremely long distance. Nami immediately denies it, claiming it was impossible for any sniper to do. Augur was even able to tell after he shot the birds that one of them did not die immediately, demonstrating his extremely sharp vision. Another example of his immense marksmanship skills is when he shot through the bullets of Impel Down's staff and then through the barrels of their guns, destroying them. Augur is shown to have great speed in shooting and running, as he did during his battle against Portgas D. Ace by dodging his fire bullets. Augur ate the Wapu Wapu Nomi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to teleport himself and others from place to place. But to teleport someone, he must make physical contact with the target. However, Augur does not have a complete mastery of his powers yet, so his range of travel is limited. Avalo Pizarro, also known as the Corrupt King, was one of the criminals who was given a life sentence in level 6 of Impel Down. As his crimes were so atrocious, he had to effectively be erased from history. Prior to his life as a pirate, he was once the king of the North Blue Kingdom, but was overthrown for his despotic ways. Marshal D. Teach later freed him and appointed him the captain of the 4th ship. Unlike the other Impel Down escapees, he was not dressed in a prisoner's uniform even when incarcerated. Pizarro's appearance is very much identical to that of a cat. He even has a tendency to say "meow" at the end of his sentences. Bro thinks he is an anime girl, which is ridiculous. Moving on, Pizarro ate the Shimishima Nomi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to assimilate his body into an island itself. Once assimilated, he can control both the natural environment and any artificial structures. While merged with an island, he can feel human activity on it, as if something were tickling a corresponding part of his body. He can also make his face manifest across the island, in sizes and on surfaces of his choosing. His arms are constantly covered by something, so we cannot tell what weapons he uses in the manga, but in the anime, he uses flintlocks. Lafitte, nicknamed Demon Sheriff, is the navigator, chief of staff, and the Titanic captain of the Blackbeard Pirates' 5th ship. He is a former West Blue policeman, known for countless acts of police brutality, which resulted in his exile from that sea. In contradiction to his past, Lafitte now seems to be a calm and affable individual who is constantly smiling. Lafitte is considerably skilled in infiltration. When he traveled to Mary Joyce, he easily bypassed all the security defenses of the sacred land of the world government and joined in the military for the new Warlord of the Sea nomination, all without being noticed until he willingly revealed himself, a notable feat considering he was able to sneak past a number of highly ranking Marines and 3 warlords who each boast considerable degrees of sensory hockey, while wearing tap shoes no less. Later at Marineford, before the Blackbeard Pirates sailed to Impel Down, Lafitte infiltrated the control room to hypnotize the Marines present there without being noticed. He was also able to sneak in to subscribe! You can do it too, thanks! He is the only Titanic captain whose devil fruit powers are still to be revealed, but all we know is that he can transform his arms into a pair of bird-like wings, though it has not been confirmed if this is the fruit's ability or a power separate from it. Despite being a navigator, we have not seen Lafitte carrying a log pose, which is essential for navigating on the Grand Line. This might be an indication behind his exceptionally good navigation skills, or vice versa. Katarina Devon, known as the Crescent Moon Hunter, was the most dangerous female pirate ever to be imprisoned in Impel Down within the entire Age of Pirates. Marshal D. Teach set her free and recruited her to the Blackbeard Pirates, where she became captain of the Titanic's 6th ship. She has a sadistic side, as seen when she mocked Gecko Moria over the death of his subordinate Absalom, whom she masqueraded as to give Moria a false sense of hope. She is extremely strong, as demonstrated by her ability to injure Whitebeard with her spear, which is an impressive feat of strength in and of itself. Devon ate the Ina Ina Nomi, model Kyubi no Kitsune, a mythical Zoan-type devil fruit that allows her to transform into a 9-tailed fox. With this power, she can transform into clones of people, similar to Mani Mani Nomi. She was seen wielding a spear or a staff when attacking Whitebeard with her crew, as it was the weapon available at the time. After the time skip, she has acquired a new weapon, a sword, which she wears on her right side. Sanjuan Wolf is an enormous giant, known as Colossal Battleship for his size, and was originally one of the legendary criminals who was given a life sentence in level 6 of Impel Down, as his crimes were so atrocious they had to be effectively erased from history itself. After assisting him in escaping from the Impel Down, Blackbeard appointed Wolf captain of the 7th ship. The shape of Sanjuan Wolf's head and the disposition of his brown beard resemble a chestnut, making his spiky, round, and beige hair resemble a chestnut shell. As a giant, he ages much slower than humans and has enormous strength, but he was easily defeated by Marine veteran Monkey D. Garp. However, this could be because he was asleep at the time and was caught off guard. Wolf is a giant of extraordinary size, as high as 180 meters at least, towering over even the largest beings known to date, like Oars or Little Oars Jr., as well as being so big that he appears to be roughly the same size as the Marine headquarters at Marineford. His true size, however, is still unknown. Wolf ate the Deka Deka Nomi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that makes him much bigger than normal giants. Despite being weak against water, he was tall enough to stand in the ocean, though Wolf did mention that doing so was exhausting to him, probably due to the devil fruit he had eaten. Vasco Shot, also known as Heavy Drinker, is one of the Blackbeard Pirates' 10 Titanic Captains, commanding the 8th ship. He was also a legendary criminal given a life sentence on Impel Down's level 6, before being freed by Blackbeard and joining him. Shot's general demeanor is that of a nonchalant, slightly dopey drunk. He has yet to be seen sober, so it is unknown how strongly inebriation affects his personality. He does seem to hate the idea of sobering up, as he at one point suggested to his crew that they invade a town somewhere solely because he had run out of booze. Shot ate the Gabigabinomi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit with alcohol-based powers. He has demonstrated the ability to take advantage of alcohol's flammable properties and attack with fire. In combat, Shot uses this fruit to gulp down alcohol and then spit it out while igniting it, creating streams of fire. He carries dual pistols as his weapons. Doc Q, known as Death God, is the doctor of the Blackbeard Pirates. Ironically, he has a sick body and relies on his horse, Stronger, who is as sick as he is, to get around. He is currently one of the 10 Titanic Captains, as the captain of the 9th ship. Doc Q appears to be a skilled chemist, as he created an explosive solution that he infused into apples, causing them to explode with a single bite. Despite having had a fatal chronic disease since childhood, Doc Q possesses formidable superhuman physical prowess, as demonstrated by his ability to paddle their raft with relatively large paddles and keep up with Burgess, a man of titanic strength. Also, at the Summit War of Marineford, Doc Q was able to brutally injure a weakened Whitebeard with his scythe, causing him to shed copious amounts of blood. He wields his large scythe with only one arm and also attacks consecutively with great speed. In fact, Doc Q not only survived into adulthood while suffering from a chronic illness that causes him to cough blood on a regular basis, but he also survived being exposed to Magellan's deadly venom long enough for Shiryu to administer the antidote, an incredible feat given his extremely sickly constitution in comparison to the other Blackbeard pirates. Doc Q ate the Shikashikanomi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to create diseases that can hinder an opponent. The diseases can take many forms and have varying effects, such as one that turns males into females. They can also be contagious, allowing them to spread among a group of enemies. I mean, seriously, Oda? A doctor who can bestow diseases on others? That is crazy. The effective range of this power seems quite large, as Law and his crew remained affected even after descending far beneath the ocean in their submarine. The user of this ability can also detect when his power is countered. Intense hockey use can allow an opponent to resist and break through the devil fruit-afflicted illnesses, which will also result in antibodies that will spread just as quickly as the disease itself and cure others affected by the illness. Now, we have covered 9 of the Titan Captain remaining. The MVP of this video, Kuan. Kuan, better known by his alias Aokiji, is one of the 10 Titanic Captains of the Blackbeard Pirates, as the captain of the 10th ship. Before joining Blackbeard's crew, he was a Marine Admiral, having been trained by Monkey D. Garp. Sengoku nominated him for the position of Fleet Admiral, but after losing to Sakazuki, Kuan resigned from the Marines. According to Branu, Kuan's strength as a Marine hero was gifted not at birth, but rather built up by training, as was the case with Monkey D. Garp. Still, since his early days in the Marines, Kuan seemed quick to learn everything the instructors would teach him, leading him to start training under Garp as he subsequently rose through the ranks. Kuan's strength was already considered abnormal for someone of his rank during his time as a Vice Admiral over 2 decades ago, as evidenced by Jaguar di Sol, an extremely powerful giant who used to be a Vice Admiral himself, being easily defeated by Kuan with only 2 attacks. Kuan would match Akainu in strength. A one-on-one duel between the two saw them go blow for the majority of the fight, which took 10 days to settle. Though Akainu emerged victorious, both men sustained severe injuries. Upon encountering the Blackbeard Pirates a year after his fight against Akainu, Kuan was able to swiftly defeat several of Blackbeard's officers, including the enormous Sanjuan Wolf and other ex-prisoners from Impel Down's level 6, by freezing them up in a matter of seconds. In the year since joining hands with Blackbeard, Kuan has become a powerful asset of the Emperor's crew, and with his position as Titanic Captain comes authority over the Blackbeard Pirates' 10th ship. In particular, Kuan's knowledge of the Marines' inner workings, including the most secretive organization, SWORD, provides valuable intel for the crew. Kuan's physical prowess is immense, befitting his former admiral position. His strength is particularly notable, having developed massive punching power from years of training under Garp since his early Marine days. Like his mentor, Kuan would use retired battleships like sandbags to train up the force of his punches, while not permitting himself to use his devil fruit powers or haki. Ultimately, Kuan reached a point where, like Garp himself, he could cave in the armored hulls of ships with the sheer force of his blows. Kuan ate the Nomi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into ice. Compared to most Logia users, who, when transformed, can let physical attacks pass through their fluid bodies, Kuan is more easily hit, since ice is a solid element. However, he remains unaffected by enemy attacks that are not infused with haki. Rather than dissipating out of harm's way, his body shatters apart when struck, only to reform as effortlessly as any Logia user thereafter. Kuan is also able to form constructs out of ice. In combat, Kuan can create weapons, primarily swords and spears, but can also make more elaborate constructs, like a giant pheasant to send out flying at enemies. By imbuing his icy fist with haki, he can also greatly empower his punches. Kuan can also bypass his weakness for falling into water by freezing it before he can sink below the surface. Not only does this keep him from drowning, it also lets him prevent enemies from escaping by sea by freezing their ships in place or rendering the sea a solid battleground for entire armies to fight on. As a former Marine Admiral, Kuan is a highly skilled Bushishoku and Kenbunshoku haki user. I still believe Blackbeard Pirates is the second strongest crew in One Piece. Of course, the Revolutionary Army is the first. Click here to find out all 19 known members of the Revolutionary Army.